Hello, my name is Selena.
And my name's Theoni, and you are listening to Piping Hot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Piping Hot. It's been a week.
It's been a week. Let me just tell you one thing about my week, ladies and gents. So, if you've listened to the podcast, you probably know my dating life has been a little up and down.
Up and down.
It's been up and down. In this past week alone, 2 of these motherfucking Casper the Ghost tried waltzing back into my life like they did not ghost me like nothing happened. I said absolutely not. If anyone needs to know anything about me right now, it's that I am in my villain era. I'm not taking that shit. Like, don't try to just walk back in and act like you can act however you want. The audacity of these men, and also most men, never fails to surprise me in the worst ways.
No,
Truly.
honestly, like, I am baffled that they have no shame. I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you forget what you did to me? Like,
Literally.
Do you have amnesia? Like, what? What is happening?
And also, I don't know what impression you got of me to think that I'm just gonna be like, hey, how are you? Like, how are you?
Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to talk to you again. Like, fuck no.
I'm the fucking honor.
Yes, exactly. Fuck you. Exactly.
Literally. Oh my lord. Anyways, so that's been a good chunk of my week. Work has been very, very busy.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of my friends from far away like come visit, so I got to see them, even if it was briefly, which has been super fun. But yeah, I feel like I've been like running around a lot lately, and then the next 2 weekends I'm like packed full of plans. So like, your girl needs to rest.
Yeah, honestly. You're so busy.
Yeah.
And plus you're not sleeping either. Like,
oh my god, you guys. I have been visited by my sleep paralysis demons. Actually, my sleep paralysis demon, who happens to be my roommate Sarah. And I don't mean, no, I'm not even joking, you guys. And I've told her about this. The thing is I have been like having like sleep paralysis. If you guys know what that is, it's like when you're asleep but not asleep, and you like cannot move your body no matter how hard you try. And now it's gotten so bad that I'm starting to like hallucinate that my roommate is walking around. Like, one time she walked into the room, grabbed a charger, and then walked out. She was at school that day. The other day she came into my room, grabbed my cup, picked it up, put it down, walked by my bed, then left my room. I hallucinated that I got out of the bed, walked over to my cup, went back into my bed. Then I forced myself in my head to get up. I was in bed. I never left my bed.
You never moved?
I never left.
Oh my gosh.
And I was telling my dad about this, and he was like, that's called a dream. And I was like, Dad, that's not a dream. It's different. It's different.
I'm sorry. You're every time. I know you know this. Our listeners know this too. Every single time you tell me something about him, it just adds to the fact that he's fake. What do you mean? He was like, Theoni, that's a dream.
I was like, bruh, no,
it's not.
I was paralyzed in my sleep, hallucinating my roommate was home when she was fully like 3 miles away. I don't know. My dad's funny. Just likes to be funny. That's but yeah, so my week's been a little off.
Yeah, no, I bet.
How are you?
I'm doing good. It's funny because like I thought that I had a busy week, but after you told me your week, I'm like, actually, no, I did nothing.
We're not here to compare. We all have different weeks that are busy in their own ways, okay? So tell me about yours.
Work has actually been busy for the first time in months.
Dang, okay.
So it's been great, honestly. I feel important. I feel like I have a job again. But no, it's good. But yeah, no, I've been so busy with different plans and my scuba class and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm I'm already looking forward to like all my plans being done and then finally just like being able to relax, which I think is going to be like the beginning of October, which seems kind of long, but yeah. I mean, like I'm having fun and it's nice to be busy again, but like sometimes I just like need a whole week of doing nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So
No, I get you. I get you, girl.
Yeah. What are you drinking today?
So nothing. You mind if I go grab my water that's right there?
Go for it.
All right, I'm back and kind of hydrated.
Very nice.
What are you drinking today?
I'm drinking the same thing that I drank last week. I'm drinking a sparkling water, ruby red grapefruit.
Very
Bipolar.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Bipolar.
Not
a new drink for those.
not bipolar, like BIPO, like it's BYPOLAR.
No, I get it. I'm just joshing.
It's been like so hot here that like I didn't want any tea, but it's gonna be like the last hot week in Minnesota, and then it's like for sure gonna get cold. So
that was like really funny because it was so unrelated to what you were drinking, and then you just went into the weather.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna have tea, but then I was like, I don't want tea because I'm hot. Like sweating. Like I've had to change outfits like twice today because I like woke up in sweatpants and a nice sweatshirt, and it was nice and cool this morning when I walked my dogs, and then literally noon hit, and I'm like, oh, I'm drenched in sweat, and so I changed into shorts and a tank top.
Girl, I don't blame you. The weather is so unpredictable these days. Like, I never know if it's going to be cold, hot, if I'm going to sweat, get goosebumps. Yeah. Who's to say?
No, really.
Mother Nature is not kind to us these. Actually, we are not kind to Mother Nature.
That's
#,
true.
save the planet.
That is true. This is kind of old, but I thought it would just be like a fun question to ask you. Have you seen on TikTok of like, oh, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? When a person asks their like significant other, usually a man.
Yeah. Did you ask Jack?
I did, and he was fucking with me. I was like, because he watches something every night when he goes to sleep, and it's usually a TV show, but sometimes he watches documentaries. And so I was like, oh, like, what are you watching tonight? And he's like, oh, I'm going to watch something about the Roman Empire. And I turned to him, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, the Roman Empire. And I'm like, are you serious?
Shut up.
And he's like, yeah, I am. And so he gets into bed, and I'm still thinking about it, right? Yeah. I'm still thinking about it. And I'm like, Jack, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And he's like, what? And I was like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? He's like, every day. And that's when I like went over to him and I beat him up because I knew he was fucking with me. I beat him up and I was like, you are lying to me. And he was lying to me.
So he had heard about the trend.
Yes, he's seen it on TikTok and he was fucking with me.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, no, he did not watch a documentary about the Roman Empire. But along the same lines, everyone's like, oh, what is the same question but for women?
But can I say one thing before you say that? I asked my dad about the Roman Empire. You want to hear what he said?
What did he say?
I texted him, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And he said, daily. Their best invention was the toilets and sewer systems. I'm thinking right now about it. Like, he was definitely joking. But, like, that's just, like, of course that's what my dad would respond. You know, he's so funny.
I know. I would expect nothing less, honestly.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, girl version of the Roman Empire. I've seen a few things.
Me too.
But again, I feel like I don't know what the universal one is. I know for like anyone who reads Sarah J. Maas. Yes. Sarah J. Maas is definitely one of my Roman empires. Yeah. 1000%.
Oh, 100%.
I think about her books all the time. Like, that's not even like being sarcastic or fake. I think about those books all the time.
Yeah.
What else have you seen?
I've seen how often do you think about your ex-best friend?
Whoa! Oh.
Isn't that horrible? Because, like, Really? How often do you think about her? Or him?
Probably too much.
Yes, right?
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy.
Right? When I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm done
That
for today.
was the one.
Yeah, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
enough. I think that's enough.
Wow.
I like the Sarah J. Maas answer better, though.
That other one made me think too much.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It kind of hurt a little bit, too.
Yeah,
so.
no, I'm stinging. I've been stung. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious.
Any other life updates?
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't think so for me either.
Alrighty. Pop culture.
No, what are you reading, watching, listening,
yeah.
consuming?
You're right. Okay. Reading.
Yeah, what are you reading?
I think I talked about this book last week, so I don't know. I talked about the makeup test. Yes, I did.
Correct. Yep.
But right now, I'm in process of reading me and Selena's book club read for the month that I picked out. Yay! Woo. It is called Change of Plans by Dylan Newton. And I really like her as an author. She has also written How Sweet It Is and All Fired Up. Girl, you haven't even read it.
If you looked at the inside,
I saw
you
it.
could
I'm just saying you haven't even read it. So what you talking about?
It's because I like reading the beginning, the very beginning of books.
Reading the little like chicken scratch at the beginning that says like the publication date.
Yeah, and the ISBN codes and all that shit.
Yeah, Selena reads that. She memorizes the numbers for every book.
I actually memorize. I know all of my ISBN codes here in my book.
That's how you organize them.
Yeah, really.
By ISBN codes. What are you reading?
So, I finished These Infinite Threads by Tara Mafi, which I think I had talked about last week. And it was amazing.
Yay!
It was so good. Like, it was so dramatic, but in the best way possible. Like,
nice.
Like, I'm like so envious of how she writes tension. Yeah. Because literally, Theoni, the main characters maybe touched like once or twice. And their tension was insane. I'm like, you guys haven't even kissed. And there's already this much tension and chemistry between you two. Like, I was literally blown out of my freaking mind. Like, oh my God.
See, so I don't know if I could handle that.
Yeah. You just be like, can you just make out?
Literally.
Like, yeah.
At least, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, I'm glad you liked it because I know you had high hopes for it.
Yes, yeah. So I think the third book comes out next February, but I'm very excited. So
nice. Alrighty, cool.
Yeah. What are you watching?
So I am watching Still Always Sunny, Still Only Murders in the Building.
Nice.
I think those are kind of my shows right now. Yeah, I don't think I've been really watching too much else of anything. How about you?
Nice. Nothing much really. I did finish My Perfect Marriage, which is the anime on Netflix. Nice. I think the last episode, because I think it was only 12 episodes in season 1. The last episode aired yesterday. And thankfully, Netflix renewed it for season 2. So
nice. Okay.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Love that. What are you listening to?
Oh, what am I listening to? Okay. I didn't put down the artist, but there's this one song that I found. It's called Horns by Bryce Fox. Yes.
I've heard that song before. I discovered that song a while ago, I think, actually. I was listening to your playlist that you talked about last week.
Yes.
And I heard it on there and I was like, oh, this song totally makes sense for this playlist. Yeah.
It reminds me, if anyone has read the Cruel Prince trilogy by Holly Black, that song literally describes the like two main characters. Like it's so crazy. But no, it's so good. I love it.
It slaps, yeah.
And then I've been listening to Shameless by Camila Cabello, which I know is
Is it that one?
Exactly that.
Okay.
Just like that.
I know. I actually recorded the vocals for that. No, but like actually that song does slap.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. And I know it
Yeah.
was trending on TikTok a long while ago, blah, 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 blah. But like, I've never like actually listened to the full song.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so good. I love it. And then I've also been listening to Greedy by Tate, whatever her name is.
McRae.
Yeah.
You don't know Tate McRae. D McRae, comma Tate. Selena.
No.
I was just kidding.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Clearly. Just kidding.
What have you been listening to?
Nothing new that I haven't like talked about.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice.
waiting for some new music to hit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
What have you been consuming?
Oh, well, nothing exciting, but I did spend way too much money on this like green celery juice from Whole Foods because I'm like trying to be healthy, whatever.
Okay.
That like went down the tubes pretty quickly. But that green juice was so disgusting.
Oh,
and I feel
okay.
like maybe if you got used to it, but like I would rather mix my own where I can add in an apple or ginger or something so it actually has flavor rather than tasting like fucking grinded up grass. That's disgusting.
What, you don't like grinded up grass? Like
No.
that's not...
No, I don't, Selena. I really don't. I even documented it and I posted it on my Instagram story, but then I was like, who gives a shit? Why am I posting this online? And then I deleted it.
You should have just kept it up. You're an influencer.
Okay. That's okay.
I
totally
to know.
Just made a Bretman rock face.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Okay, sorry. What have you been consuming?
Nothing exciting. I had frozen pizza earlier this week, but
Pop off.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Pizza.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, now pop culture.
Correct. Now pop culture.
Okay, I have one.
You have one? I have 8.
What the fuck?
Girly. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So my one is that Sophie Turner has sued Joe Jonas for basically like having her kids, or she wants to bring her kids back to London basically.
Yes. Yep.
And so now she's suing him, and Joe Jonas came out and was like, these like her suing me is super unfortunate and all these things. So it sounds like this divorce is turning out a little messier than we thought.
Yeah, very messy.
And it's also crazy that Sophie Turner was just seen out to dinner with Miss Taylor Swift in New York, which I think that's kind of a shitty PR move.
What do you mean?
Props to Sophie and Taylor for hanging out, whatever, but it feels very calculated against
100%.
Joe.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, I'm not against Sophie or Joe or for Sophie or Joe over the other, but like, I feel like everyone is like jumping down Joe's throat now and just making him seem like a horrible person when I really don't think he is.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely those 2 items were my first pop culture things because I'm like, okay, Sophie Turner and Taylor Swift together, the pap photos look great, awesome, cool. They came out last night. This morning, the story breaks out that Sophie Turner is suing Joe. And I'm like, oh, 100% that's calculated. Yes,
yeah.
They 100% knew that either the news was going to break out today or someone was going to leak it. So Sophie and her team devised a plan or whatever to not flood the media feeds, but like basically just kind of like fluff her little like image or reputation or whatever.
Yep, 100%.
But that's PR though. Like I think it's a very calculated game, and I think the same thing happened too with Joe going out to lunch with his kids as well. That was all staged and stuff. So I think it's unfortunate that it's I
think it's turning out very messy. Yeah. Yep. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know. Okay, cool. My next thing is that the author, okay, this is kind of boring, but I wanted to mention it. The Authors Guild, along with like a bunch of huge names like Jodi Picoult, I don't know how to say her last name. Yeah, Picoult.
Yeah.
And George R. Martin has filed a class action lawsuit against OpenAI, claiming that their technology is infringing on their works, which I think is so huge against the development of AI. And like, I think me personally, I'm very against AI because it basically cuts out all the people who do the hard work of actually doing something and then just having a freaking robot do it. Like, for example, I think the easiest one that comes off the top of my head is like illustrators. Like AI takes their images of them drawing and then creates all of these like AI generated pictures. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, how is that even legal? And so the Authors Guild has filed against OpenAI. Basically, I think this company is like using authors' works to train AI, and authors are saying if they should. Authors are arguing that they should have an option to opt in or opt out of the system to like train this AI.
Which I think that makes a lot of sense.
Right? Like
it's your work. You should decide what it gets used for.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's definitely copyright by taking it without their permission and like plagiarizing and stealing their material to train this AI so that they can write something similar of the sort or whatever. And so I'm just like, you know what? Good for them.
Yeah, good for them, for real.
My next one is that Ariana Grande has officially filed for divorce 2 days ago, September 19th, from Dalton Gomez, which is really interesting because we already kind of heard this news earlier this year, right? But now it has been officially filed. But their filing cited that their day of separation was like February 20th. So again, like it's been happening for a really long time. It's just that they like officially like went through all the paperwork and stuff. So.
And that's why I think seeing that and all of that information coming out, maybe this is because I'm unbiased, maybe whatever, but I feel like there are at least a couple things that people owe Ariana an apology for. Okay? Sorry. That's my opinion. Okay. But we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. My next one is the Halle Berry and Drake drama. Not like too big, but his new single, Slime You Out, featured SZA, used an image of Halle Berry as like a promo image or whatever for the single of her getting slimed at like one of those Nickelodeon award shows where they like put all the green slime on you. And she basically responded to an Instagram comment saying that like he didn't get her permission to use that image, and she thought better of him, and like it's not cool that he did that and all that stuff. So that happened.
I get it. Sometimes I think with things like that, honestly, it's not my choice to decide like what's a big deal or not to these people, but that just seems like whatever. You were slimed tons and tons of years ago, and now you're upset someone's like using that in a funny way to promote a song. Like, who cares?
I mean, but I think like their influence too, I think we need to like take account for, because like if say like Halle Berry like did not like Drake, that's not real, I'm just speculating, right? Like hypothesis, like she did not like Drake or whatever. Like associating your name with something can be very dangerous at the height of their fame, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so like I understand like her trying to protect her image or whatever, right? I mean, I feel like that's what all celebrities want to do. And so I think it's just like, I don't know.
I didn't think of that perspective.
I feel like it might be just like courtesy, because your name as celebrities can go so far, that I would just like send a message, be like, hey, just to let you know, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be very simple.
Yeah, I don't know. So
I get you.
Okay, my next one is that there's a Drew Barrymore update. Her talk show has halted due to all the backlash that happened like last week or the week before or whatever, and will resume when the WGA strike ends. Following that, the Talk is also pausing their season premiere amid like the strike backlash stuff, because I think the Talk was set to premiere I think like next week or something. So they're all halted now. So okay. My next one is that Halsey and Avon
Jogia
are
Mr.
dating.
Jack from Victorious. Yeah, that's crazy to me. I hope they're happy.
Yeah.
I've never liked Halsey.
I know how you feel about Halsey. Honestly,
I don't know. I hope they're happy. Their vibes kind of give off like the way that they like. This sounds really bad, but the way that they look and like their styles and their vibes that way. I don't know their personalities, but like the vibes they give off just based off of looks, I can see it.
Yeah,
I will say that. Okay.
I honestly, like, this pairing, like, very, very much surprised me, because I was like, wait, how do they know each other? Like, that's so
literally
random.
Where did this happen?
Right? But then, like you said, it, like, once you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one is that Taylor Swift dropped the track list for 1989, Taylor's version. And I'm disappointed to say that Harry Styles is not featured on Style, Taylor's version. So I am in mourning, okay? But yeah. That is all the pop culture that I have.
Nice. All right. So, Selena, you want to tell our listeners what we'll be talking about today?
Yes. So today, Theoni and I are doing a celebrity deep dive on the one and only Timothee Chalamet, which is so interesting because I feel like we should have already talked about him. I don't know.
I feel like we've talked about him here and there.
Yeah.
And I will say, somehow, most of the celebrities that we've chosen to talk about aren't shitty people. So we don't have anything crazy to say about them.
I think we need to pick more like controversial people.
I think we need to. No, I fully think we need to pick controversial people moving forward. Not that we don't think this could be interesting, because we all love Timmy Boy.
Yeah.
But like, Timmy Boy's a nice person.
Yeah.
Which like is great. Like, do I want to look at him? Absolutely. But like, does he make me like want to hear gossip? No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm sure you have stuff on his early life.
Yes, I can dive in.
Yes, tell us, Selena.
Okay.
Tell us more.
So, Timothée Hal Chalamet was born on December 27th, 1995, making him 27 years old. Which, like, honestly, like, that's... I don't know why I conceptualize him being, like, older than us. Like, way older. Like, maybe is it because he looks older? But I'm like,
I actually didn't. That like actually is exactly what I would like think he was aged.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. He was born in New York City and grew up in Hell's Kitchen. And then he also has an older sister, Pauline Chalamet, who is also an actress.
Let me just say this. He didn't grow up. There's an apartment building associated with the Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
And that's where he grew up. Not inside the restaurant. Just to clarify, you guys. Just to clarify.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
Well, maybe people didn't know that there was an apartment building with that.
No, there's an area in New York called Hell's Kitchen.
What?
Yes. Do you not know? Like the Bronx, Brooklyn, Hell's Kitchen.
You're so lying to me
I am
now.
not.
You're
I am not. Do you want to bet?
Right,
do you want to bet?
No, I don't want to bet.
You know why? Because I've watched a TV show that's set in Hell's Kitchen. And I was like, oh, in a restaurant? No, literally in New York City, in that area called Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, it is.
Right?
Why would they call it Hell's Kitchen? That's a restaurant. What the hell? That makes no sense.
I think it was an area before a restaurant. But
I fully thought there was an apartment complex like connected to a Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen.
No. Oh, no. Hell's kitchen was definitely like an area of New York before it became a TV show in a restaurant. That's so
Moving
funny.
on.
You know what? Hey, you learn new things every day, okay?
Yeah. All right. I don't need to do any more learning. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay, he is bilingual in English and French and holds dual U.S. and French citizenship due to his French father, which I thought was very cool. For some reason, in my head, I thought he was British, but I'm like, no, he's not British. I've literally heard him talk before. Like,
I actually knew he spoke French and was part French because he did an interview with Zendaya when he started speaking French.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I don't understand how to speak French. Bonjour. Like, what? I don't understand.
What do you
Avec a cuisson.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
You're not even saying the words, bro.
Yes, you are. You're literally talking to a French minor. I took French all throughout my college.
A cuisson. Je t'aime et je le connais. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Not that.
Lady
Not
Marmalade.
that. Not that. Don't say the other thing that you just said.
What does that mean?
Voulez-vous avec whatever.
Voulez-vous coucher avec quoi?
That's basically like, oh, do you want to come to bed with me
Oh,
tonight?
all right. Makes sense. Pop off, Christina Aguilera. All right. Anyways.
Okay, going back to Timothee.
Yeah. Chalamet.
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 Timothee. Okay. So, okay, Lil Tim. Sorry.
God. Lil Tim.
Because we're still in his early
When
like
you
life.
said Lil Tim, I
Lil
thought
Tim
Tiny
Tim.
Tim. I was like, oh my God.
Well, let's just call
Merry
him Tiny
Christmas.
Tim throughout this entire episode.
Oh my God.
Okay. So, Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight inspired Lil Tim to pursue a career in acting. I think I forgot how to speak English now. Okay.
That's okay. We can talk French.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's Timothée
I
Chalamet.
don't think I remember how to conjugate verbs in French. That's the thing.
That's okay.
It went through and out. Okay.
You can't go over it. You can't go under it. We gotta go through it.
If you say so. Okay.
No, that's what the little brown bear said, so Selena. Sorry,
Who?
go ahead. The brown bear.
What brown bear?
Brown bear. What? That was a book, a children's book. Can't go over it. You can't go. Girl, that explains so much.
Shut up.
Girl, who doesn't know the little brown bear book?
Me, I guess.
What did you see?
Has dear
catch
listeners,
me,
has anyone heard about this book?
I guarantee they have. I guarantee they have.
Please tell us in the comments below.
Okay, so back up to
Sorry. Okay, we can't speak English in this episode.
Okay, back. Serious Timothée Chalamet.
Okay,
all right,
Timothée Chalamet.
cool. Yes.
He applied to the LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, his acceptance into that school was a turning point for him in acting. Fun fact, during high school, he dated Madonna's daughter, Lola, a fellow student at that school for a year, which I think is so random.
That's so random.
So random. But
have fun.
I know. So then after high school, Timothy, 17 years old, he attended Columbia University for 1 year, majoring in cultural anthropology, but then he later transferred to New York University's Gallatin School of Individual Study to pursue his acting career more freely because he found it a little difficult to assimilate to Columbia after filming Interstellar. which honestly, I forgot he was in Interstellar. Like, I had to
Wait,
go
he
and
was in
Google.
Interstellar?
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't, like,
I didn't even see that in my research.
Yeah, no, he was he was like a younger portrayal of Ben Affleck's, or one of the Affleck's main characters. So he was just like one of the little kids for
Matthew
like
McConaughey was Interstellar.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Oh, was that one of the Afflecks in that movie too?
Yes, when the kids grow up, like the Affleck.
Well, I never saw that movie.
Oh, okay. I saw it a really long time ago, so like I
Okay.
didn't even recognize him. So I had to like
Gotcha.
Google him, and he's like a little tiny baby. I'm like, oh my god, of course I don't recognize you.
Timothy, he really was little Tim Tim.
I know he was. And so after leaving Columbia, he moved to Concourse, Bronx. But yeah, that's basically his like early life. And then you get into his career, which honestly, when I was like researching it, this kid has been in like everything.
Literally, he has been in everything. And obviously, like we talked about, he started off very young in a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And I think it worked out well for him because he was doing all these things, but also attending real school at schools that were kind of like made for kids like this, or kids trying to pursue stuff like this. So it made sense for him. And I think it helped make the trajectory to like everything he's doing now easier than it might be for like some child actors.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I will say one of the things I noted, like in 2009 was his first like television debut in Law and Order, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then the next big thing I know he was in a bunch of like smaller roles as like whatever in between them. Like again, he's been in everything and so many things you would never think of.
Yep.
But the biggest thing, which I would say his breakthrough role, was in 2017 in Call Me by Your Name, which was with Armie Hammer. Which I will say, I think it's pretty cool that despite being in multiple films regarding some pretty controversial people or in with controversial actors, he has still managed to kind of come out like unscathed and like has handled it so well.
Yeah.
I think because a lot of people, especially starting out in your career, could get like bogged down by that so fast and almost kind of ruin your career in a way.
100%. His PR team was working overtime. Like they better be paid so well.
Especially the stuff with Armie Hammer.
Yeah, but also with Woody Allen as well.
It was like a gay, with both Woody Allen and Armie Hammer, because both of them are like pretty disgusting human beings, it seems like. And for him as a young person starting out in acting, working with a director like Woody Allen, gross, then being in the movie in a gay relationship with someone like Armie Hammer, it's like, wow.
Yeah, and that was even before all the allegations about Armie Hammer came out. So like he kind of like went in blind because he obviously didn't know. But by the time that news came out about Armie, it like blew up. But then again too, going back to your point, he like was unscathed from that.
Yep, he was, which is I think a good thing at the end of the day.
Have you seen that film? Call Me by Your Name?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I haven't either, but what I was reading, like everyone was like raving about him. He was only 22 years old when he did that.
That's crazy. Well, I was reading about it as well, and people said like the acting was really bad, but he saved the movie.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was reading too.
Which I will say I've seen him act in a few things, and he is a really, really fantastic actor. But to stand out against someone who's more well-known and like seasoned in this big movie, you gotta applaud him for like where he's come to from there. And like the fact that he was the standout is huge.
Yeah, I know. God, that would like boost my ego.
The same. Oh my gosh, 100%.
But for that film, do you have all the awards that he won for that film?
No.
Okay. Oh, I can list them off.
Okay.
So for Call Me by Your Name, he won the Gotham Independent Film Award for Breakthrough Actor and the Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead, and then received a ton of nominations for it from the Critics' Choice Movie Award, Golden Globe, SAG Award, BAFTA, Academy Award, all for Best Actor. Fun fact, too, is that he is the third youngest person to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor, as well as the youngest since 19-year-old Mickey Rooney in Babes in Arms in 1939.
Wow.
Like,
dang, that's crazy.
right? I'm like, holy crap. Like, wow.
No, like, he's seriously talented. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I think his next bigger movie after that was in Lady Bird with Saoirse Ronan, which is also Greta Gerwig's like directorial debut.
Yes.
Which I think is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's awesome that he went from a movie like Call Me by Your Name with this like controversial situation and then into someone like Greta Gerwig. Like, wow.
Honestly,
he's worked with some like really incredible people.
Yeah, and like I think that like also established a lot of trust between him and Greta, because like Greta has to trust that like he can bring this character to life, but then Timothee has to trust Greta to be able to direct and put this masterpiece together. And honestly, like it's worked so well for both of them. Like they are both so successful now. Like it's so great.
So great. A year after that, he was in Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell in 2018. That movie, I have never seen it, but I know in grad school, one of the groups in my class presented on it because it's a pretty fascinating family dynamic in the movie. And I definitely want to go back and watch it. But the clips that I saw, he did a fantastic job in that.
Good.
Which is unsurprising. After that, in 2019, he worked with Saoirse Ronan and Greta Gerwig again for Little Women, which I love that movie. And again, thought he was fantastic in that character.
Honestly, I just love the like Timothee Saoirse pair up, or the Timothy and Florence Pugh pair up. Like I like those combinations are just so good. And then the Timothy and Zendaya pair up. Like I need them to do movies together all the time. Like
no, me too. But let's also, you got to give a shout out to Lil Tim Tim, because he has like chemistry. He really can work with anyone. It seems like.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do. No. For sure. And then I don't have a ton else for his career besides that, but obviously in 2021 he was in Dune alongside Zendaya, and like I know a bunch of other people were in that movie as well. But there's going to be multiple of those movies. So that's definitely kind of like a series that's starting up for him, that he's going to be in those movies, and he has like Wonka coming up and a bunch of other movies. So. Yeah,
it's so interesting. I was reading up on Dune, and I haven't seen it, but the director, his name is Dennis, I think. He said that Timothee was his only choice to play the role. And I'm like, whoa, I feel like that is like...
That's saying something.
Yeah, you're like coming out swinging. You're like, I know who the perfect person who can portray this main character.
Well, it's also Timothee. Like, what if Timothy's not available? What if Timothy lets you down? Like, clearly Timothy had big shoes to fill, and he's able to fill them. Clearly. Yeah. So.
Crazy.
Go little Tim Tim.
I know.
Do you have anything else, like, for his career? Anything like that?
I mean, I have random fun facts. I have 3 random fun facts, but...
Okay, sure.
Okay, so the first fun fact about Tim Tim is that he learned Italian for Call Me by Your Name, which again, I have not seen the movie, but he took Italian lessons as well as guitar and piano to perfect the role that he had to play. Yeah, which I think is so cool.
I respect the commitment. All right.
Right? My second fun fact is that he auditioned for the role of Peter Parker in the most recent Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
The thing is, though, is that, like, what messes me up is that imagine if Timothee got it, we would never have Tom Holland and Zendaya. Yeah, we would never have that. And
that's why some things are meant to be.
Right? Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that thought of them not existing together, being together, not knowing each other, like, gives me a heart attack. Like, that scares me. And then my last fun fact is that Timothee Chalamet used to be a rapper who went by the name of Lil Timmy Tim.
Oh, is that where you got it from?
Honestly, no.
Maybe subconsciously.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever like a serious rap thing. He like did a lot of funny performances back in like high school and middle school.
It was just in high school that he like
Yeah.
did this on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have some stuff about his dating history if we want to go through that.
Let's do it. He's been making headlines recently.
He has. So none of this is crazy interesting.
Yeah.
But first one that we already mentioned, he dated Lola or Lords Leon in high school, who's Madonna's daughter. I think they dated for like a little bit, which is like wild. Like
I think a year,
Madonna, which is a random crossover.
Yeah.
Then he dated Lily Rose Depp for quite a while as well.
Yeah.
They dated for about 2 years, and they met while filming The King on Netflix.
Yes. Yep. You're right.
I feel like they almost kind of look alike. Like they don't look alike, but like kind of the vibes of their eyes and like their. Do you know what I mean?
I 100% know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. I'm glad because I didn't know how to like vocalize that, but seeing them together, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, are you cousins?
I agree.
Like, are we in Alabama? Yeah. Okay. Then after he broke up with Lily Rose Depp at either the very end of 2019 or beginning of 2020, I think it's a bit unclear, he started dating Isa Gonzalez in June 2020, and then they broke up in October 2020. Wait. But it was kind of like on and off.
Wait, who is it?
Isa Gonzalez. She's like an actress, which I always considered her to be a little older, but maybe she is Timothy's age. I'm not sure. Oh. She's 33, so she's like 6 years older than him. Interesting.
Okay, that's interesting. Wait, okay.
And that was back in 2020, so he would have been 24 at the time, and she would have been 30. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay,
all right. So anyways, after Isa, they broke up October 2020. Then in April 2022, there is a model and influencer. Her name's Sarah Talabi. They were rumored to be together at Coachella. It's unclear if they actually dated, but he was like spotted with her.
Okay, got it.
After her, he met Taylor Russell on the sets of Bones and all. And in November 2022, they were rumored to be dating. Then after that, in April 2023, that's when all of the rumors started with the relationship between him and Kylie Jenner. And I remember when I first saw that, I was like, this is so fake. Like the Kardashians are reaching. 100%. Like this is so fake. Then recently, they were at was it the Taylor Swift or Beyonce concert?
It was Beyonce.
Okay, at the Beyonce concert, and they were like kissing and PDA, and they actually seemed very in love, and like I actually liked them together, and it is a very, very confusing thing. It is a very, very confusing thing.
Earlier this year, it came out, right? And everyone's like, that's so fake, like blah, blah, blah. And then there were pictures from a freaking helicopter of them, I think in her yard or whatever, drinking coffee and kind of walking around. Like it felt very staged, right? So I was still in denial. And then those Beyonce pictures hit and those videos. And I was
like, oh, it's real. Crazy.
It is. And then it just recently came out, I think today or yesterday, that someone took a picture of Kylie. I don't know what she was doing, but her phone was in her hand, kind of like this. And it's a picture of her and Timothy as her lock screen. And I'm like, what?
I actually think it's like kind of serious.
I think
which
it
is
too.
Wild. You know what?
I don't know.
I'm kind of invested either way.
Yeah,
like I don't really care if they end up together or not.
Yeah.
But it's like I love the pictures and I love like the drama or like hearing about this because it doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense. I don't know.
Same.
But I'm like invested.
It's kind of like the whole like Kim and Pete thing where like I don't really care if they end up together, but like them being together and all of like the drama that comes with it, like I was there for it and I ate it all up, you know?
This makes more sense to me long term than Kim and Pete did.
Oh, 100%. I think so. Okay. But I don't know if they would last long term.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
either.
The thing.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
I don't know.
Have to wait and see. But yeah, that's all I got for Timmy Tim.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else. Like,
I'm a fan. He seems like a cool, like down to earth, like normal person, which I respect.
If he was like any weirder, you'd been like no respect at all.
No, but like no one. He's like Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like no one has anything bad to say about him.
Yeah,
and like he's been in so much and has had such a sexful. I'm Freudian slipping. He had a successful.
Oh, okay.
He's had such a successful career at age 27, and like it would be so easy for him to get a big head about so many things, but like no one has anything bad to say about him.
Yeah,
and
no,
I think that's pretty cool.
I agree with you. You are right that like in every interview that I've seen of him, the way that he talks, he feels like he touches grass every so often, and I really appreciate that.
For sure. So Selena, tell our listeners about next week.
I mean, they're dying to know. Like,
I know.
Next week, Theoni and I will talk about a topic that will be a surprise once again.
There's also a chance there may be no episode next week because I'm the worst and life is crazy the next couple weeks. So we'll see. So either you're gonna get the biggest surprise of your life, have the best topic ever, and you're gonna be surprised with the piping hot episode, and your life will be made, and you'll be happy and fulfilled. Or you're not gonna get an episode, and you'll survive.
Yeah. Life will go on, okay?
Life
everyone.
will go on. Guys, get your shit together. No, okay, anyways. All right, well, with that, hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.